Here's all the good and the bad from the 29th July episode of Monday Night Raw. Let's get to it. Seth was live on Raw to discuss the rules and regulations of the match between Punk and Drew at SummerSlam that he is officiating. Yeah, this was not it. Let me explain why. McIntyre and Punk's feud has been one of the hottest things going on in WWE for months now. Despite Punk being injured for nearly all of 2024, the two have managed to keep their confrontations exciting and vicious at the same time, and it all makes their SummerSlam match one of the most anticipated bouts of the weekend. But Monday's go-home promo was far from the brilliant, nor was it even a very good recap or a call to fire up fans. It dragged on for God knows how long, with McIntyre, Punk, and Seth Rollins all saying the right things, more or less, but nothing new was said. It was all the same, wash, rinse and repeat. Oh, and Rollins said the quiet part out loud, spelling out for the truly obtuse that he will be anything but an impartial referee, but he might be biased against both men. It's his rules or nothing. Punk and McIntyre tried to give their greatest hits promos, but the reality is that they peaked a week or two too early, leaving their remarks to fall short. They would have been better served to have aired a slick video package of their feud, with Adam Pearce banning both men from the arena to preserve the match, and had Rollins do a solo promo about his hatred for both. Still, this is overall one of the best things WWE has had going in 2024, so it remains a hot ticket. It's just a shame that this was the last entry. There have been so many missteps on this journey for Chad Gable/Alpha Academy breakup that when something is done right, you just have to take a moment and appreciate it for what it is. The Creed brothers put Otis and Akira Tozawa down on Monday night, a result that probably should have happened 4 to 6 weeks ago, and before any of the shenanigans with the Wyatt 6-6 began. This involved the usual, the lights going out, the ring filling up with smoke, the Wyatt 6 showed up, the White Witch attacked Chad Gable, and then Uncle Howdy also showed up at the end. Let's talk about the match though. Julius and Brutus got back to winning in tag team action and put the former Alpha Academy in their place. Even with the outside interference, it doesn't look like this needs further continuance. The next match on the horizon now should only be Otis versus Gable. This was all really well done, and WWE deserves some praise from myself and the fans as well on pulling this off. Over the last 2 years, WWE has achieved something remarkable that has transformed the critical perception of their product. They have gained the trust of fans, allowing them to give the benefit of the doubt and see how storylines unfold. In the past, there was little confidence that WWE had any real long-term vision or that a bad week would contribute to broader narrative arcs. However, that skepticism has been challenged multiple times as faith in their storytelling has been rewarded. Yet, it's difficult to overlook the ongoing saga involving Women's World Champion Liv Morgan, who took a dramatic turn on Monday night, showcasing a wild, jealous side as she burned photos and clothing in a fit of despair over Dominic Mysterio's rejection. It felt excessive and absurd. One could argue that Liv is merely playing a role, orchestrating a long-term scheme to deceive Rhea Ripley into believing that Dominic has returned to her while Morgan has lost her grip. But consider this: would WWE ever craft a similar storyline for a male champion, portraying him as a deranged, spurned lover leading up to a significant title match? Absolutely not. This has spiraled into a poorly executed soap opera plot that would be better suited for a mid-card storyline rather than the premier female rivalry on the roster. While a strong twist at SummerSlam could potentially redeem the situation, they have certainly lost their way here. The realization that Finn Balor and Gunther had never faced off in a one-on-one match before Monday night was quickly overshadowed by the fact that this match was part of the World Heavyweight Championship feud and ongoing Judgment Day drama, rather than a true showdown between two seasoned veterans. Despite the circumstances, Raw's main event was an exciting spectacle that showcased the potential between them. A proper match with a proper build should be saved for the future, as both Balor and Gunther delivered a classic big man versus little man battle, with Finn holding his own against the ring general. Gunther's path to SummerSlam was clear, resulting in a clean victory. However, this doesn't take away from the effort put in, leaving room for a rematch with higher stakes in the future. On paper, WWE tried their best to book things the right way in the women's division. They formed a new heel stable, sent the old one away for a few weeks, and had the new heels run roughshod, only for the older stable to return as conquering heroes. There's just one problem: the fans had zero reaction to almost all of it. Sonya Deville, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Stark battled Lyra Valkyria, Gaten Carter, and Katana Chance in a 6-woman tag that played out to mostly silence, save for a few spots. This was all in service of Damage Control's big return. However, it didn't exactly set the world on fire. It was almost as if no one cared when they were written off TV, and no one cares now that they're back as well. This might improve week by week as Damage Control reasserts itself, and the matches should also be crisp. But wow, this was a true death slot before the main event. One additional gripe, Dakota Kai challenging Sonya Deville to a match next week on Raw felt like a big logic gap. Wrestlers challenge other wrestlers for PLE matches all the time and then ask the GM to make it official later. Why wouldn't Kai, in storyline, do the same here? Obviously, it's because the card is full and they need matches for Raw, but Dakota the character should want a PLE match on the second biggest show of the year, so shoot your shot. This summer, Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker have engaged in an intriguing rivalry, with the Raw newcomer showcasing his impressive athleticism and on the verge of a major breakthrough. On Monday, Braun shared a well-crafted pre-recorded promo reflecting on his defeat to Sami for the Intercontinental Championship at Money in the Bank. He admitted that he underestimated Zayn, even fighting with his hands behind his back, a rookie blunder he vows not to repeat at SummerSlam. Breaker cleverly linked Sami's emerging comedy career, suggesting that Zayn is already planning for life after the IC title and hinting that he might be ready to move on from WWE, implying that Sami has accepted his loss to Braun. This, along with Breaker's relentless attacks, created a sense of inevitability for Saturday's showdown. However, Sami turned the tables by anticipating Braun's sneak attack after his victory over Dominic Mysterio, sending the rookie away empty-handed. While it seems likely that Sami could face a tough loss at SummerSlam, he has a history of defying the odds, leaving fans wondering what might happen. Breaker is definitely stepping up his game, and it's exciting to see his growth in the ring. Karrion Kross' relentless efforts to sway Xavier Woods to his side persisted on Monday night, resulting in him and his allies triumphing over the New Day star. In his attempt to win over Woods, Kross resorted to insulting Kofi Kingston. However, it backfired. The match itself was lackluster, much like the ongoing feud. The commentators even mistakenly mentioned Xavier finally facing Karrion, despite Woods defeating him in singles competition 4 weeks ago and both being in a 6-man tag match last week. Unsurprisingly, Op interfered, leading to Kross defeating Woods. This left fans questioning if Xavier will eventually give in and join the Final Testament due to the constant beatings, forgetting that he already bested Kross earlier this month. The awkward silence during these matches speaks volumes. It's clear that 2 months of build-up isn't resonating, yet the storyline continues. If we talk strictly about the match itself, Sheamus vs. Fat Bronson Reed was a big pile of absolutely nothing. It did not have an impact on Raw overall and it did not have any implications on Raw's future either. So why is this in the good column? It's because, based solely on the noise generated in the arena, it's impossible to call their match Monday night anything other than a success. The two had what one could safely describe as a pretty standard big man match, with Sheamus peppering Fat Reed with clotheslines, a pump knee, and his usual arsenal of clubbing blows, and Bronson absorbing all of it and coming back with some power moves of his own. Throw in Pete Dunne being a nonchalant villain, and you have it all here. It's perfect mid-card fodder, but it's not setting the world on fire. Dunne/Sheamus should be a fun match, but it also might be stone cold silent in the arena until they start wailing on each other because there won't be a ton of investment beforehand. It feels great from time to time to see wrestlers get some love from the crowd for their craft. It felt like a much-needed match to set the tone for the event going forward. Whoever thought it was a good idea to put a Jey Uso vs Carlito singles match on Raw in 2024 should be fired immediately, or at least given a stern warning. Jey is entertaining as hell, but once the bell rings, it's mostly downhill from there. The same moveset, the same medium energy in the ring every time, it's also tedious. Jey Uso's quality of the match usually depends on how good his opponent is. Uso can come up to a high level, but he also can sink to terrible depths. And then there's Carlito. In 2024. So. Yeah. What I mean is, Carlito is not exactly an S-tier wrestler right now. So when you put these two together in the ring, you are guaranteed to have a match that will be wrestled at half speed, with minimal bumping, minimal excitement, and minimal heat. But hey, Carlito spit out his apple when Jey hit the spear and the fans cheered, so that's all that matters, right? Right? Just shake your head and be glad that it's over. Gunther and Damian Priest kicked off the month with a hefty workload to ensure their SummerSlam title program was a must-see event. And the mission was accomplished on Monday Night Raw. After what people saw on Raw, they will be sure to tune in. Gunther's cockiness clashed perfectly with Priest's tough background, adding depth to their World Heavyweight Championship match. While their promos weren't mind-blowing, they did push the narrative forward just days before their showdown. The main event saw Gunther triumph over Damian's former partner Finn Balor, followed by a post-match attack that prompted Priest to intervene, sparking a chaotic brawl to end the show. Priest has been striving to prove himself in the main event scene since his WrestleMania 40 victory. Throughout this feud, he has consistently shown that he belongs there, thanks to Gunther's efforts and Damian's improved performance this past month. That is it for today's video. Comment down your opinions and thoughts as well. I'll be replying to each comment down there, so see you in the comments and see you in the next video. Toodles.